Hello, we are Dorks Gone Wild. I'm Kyle.
I'm Tina.
And this is our top 10 two-player games. So these are games that are just for two players. We're going to do a list later on for our favorite two-player games, regardless of number of players.
Yeah.
So this one is strictly two players. I think we got, like, between the two of us, maybe 22, 23 games ever that we've played. So we got a lot of crossover for this list, more than normal.
Yeah.
So we are fans of two-player games. We don't get to play them in groups a lot because
they're two-player games.
Yeah, they're two-player games, and usually three is the minimum you ever get whenever you're in a group. So
every now and then.
So let's get started. So my number 10 is Jumbo. Oh, we got to move this back. So I really like this one. Tina's not the biggest fan of this one.
I've only played it once too, so.
True. So we play this one at work every once in a while. It's a little engine building game. Take that game. It's definitely got some meanness to it. You're building a market, putting stuff back and forth, buying things, selling them. It's got a really cool card uses. My only complaint about this game is it's very streaky, very random as far as when you're trying to get. Sometimes you need the resources, sometimes you need the special powers. It's tough to get. You can get a bad streak going where you have turns where you just don't do anything. Game says 40 minutes on it, and that's usually pretty close to where we are. The game does drag every once in a while when people aren't getting the cards they want. It's definitely mean for a little two-player game, but a lot of fun. Jumbo.
My number 10 is, shocker, an abstract. Devon. Okay, so this game, I don't think I've ever won. Kyle always kicks my butt in this game, and so therefore it is on my list because I have to get better at it, so Kyle can't win all the time.
Yeah.
Because that's not allowed. But it's actually a really fun game, even though I suck at it so hard. Basically, you're building up stacks of your pieces and other people's pieces, and you have to keep your... Is it your stacks? They have to be connected, right?
To the red piece.
Red piece.
There's a red piece that's kind of like the centerpiece that everything has to be touched. When groups fall off of that, they fall off the game board, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and for some reason, I am not good at this game, and Kyle always wins. But it's abstract, and I love abstract, and it's GIP, which I love, the GIP series. The components are awesome. My biggest complaint is that Kyle always wins.
It's one that it's definitely out of all the abstracts, the GIP series, that I'm pretty good at.
It's true. So that's my number 10.
So my number 9 is Guile. So this is I have to hold this one up probably. This one's pretty small. So this is a awesome little game. Local designer from here in Colorado, Justin. One of the co-owners of Adventures Quarters out in Nevada, Colorado. So love this game. It's a game that gets better with the same person.
Yeah. Playing
it over and over and over and again, and trying to figure out all the little nuances that the other person is going to do. We also have horrible short-term memory, and we will play this game and 2 minutes into it and realize we don't have an idea where anything is, and
it's true. We
forget where all the people's pieces are. So really like this one. Fun little game. It's got a great theme with Merlin. It's got a little expansion to it that makes the game much deeper and adds a lot of variety to it.
Yeah, you're the Knights of the Round Table.
Knights of the Round Table. So a lot of fun. It's a memory game. We could definitely call it a memory game, but I really like this one. Good job, Justin.
Yep. All right. My number 9 is another GIF. What? No. Seems so wrong. This one is Zerts. I like the look of this one. This is the one with the
marbles.
The marbles, and they're floating on discs. So I like the. It's kind of unique in that when you move your pieces around, it can break the board apart, and some of your pieces may fall off. But mostly, you just want your opponent's pieces to fall off. So it's really cool that it's different, and it's GIF, so the components are awesome. We don't play this one very much, so we need to get it back on the board. We were just talking about how I don't know if we can remember how to play it at the moment, but
sure.
It's still fun. I do remember really enjoying it. We just need to get it on the table more. Yep, Zerts.
So my number 8 is Devon.
Nope,
there we go. So we definitely have some crossovers. So yeah, we just talked about this one. I am good at this one.
Yeah.
Until I start telling people that, and they'll play me in it and kick my butt. But
Except for me.
I like this one. It has one of the best end games in it. So the beginning of the game is pretty boring. It's pretty like just setting up stuff. The end of it's very dramatic. It ends suddenly, and whoever has the largest stack of discs wins. So you could be losing the whole game, and on that last turn, if you happen to grab be able to get the largest stack, you win the game. So I really enjoy Devon, but great game.
It is. My number 8 we don't have. I'm sad about that. But I hadn't even played it until spring break. It's Siam, and it is a very, very pretty game. It's hand-carved elephants and rhinoceros pieces. It is very pretty. It is like chess. It's an abstract, of course. Why not? I think most of my games are. It's an abstract, like chess, like the Duke, those kinds of things where you have to figure out how to get your piece off the other side of the board, and you want to push your opponent's pieces off. You have to capture a mountain and push that off the board is what you're doing. So not pushing your pieces off, but the mountain off. And there's 3 mountains in the middle, and you have to figure out how to do that. It's way more complex than it looks, and it's one of those where when Steve and I played it the first time, he was like, let's play it again. I was like, oh yeah, like hands down, let's play. He beat me, of course, and I was like, no, we're playing it again. We played it like 5 times in a row. It's just one of those where you're just like, no, I want to play it again. I want to play it again. And then I won. I was like, okay, we can stop now. But yeah, it is a really cool game, Siam.
So my number 7 is a newer game, Patchwork. This is a 2-player Uwe Rosenberg game, which is bizarre to me. Quilting. What a boring subject.
You don't know. You've never quilted.
But what a fun game. So it has a... that one's like glaring really bad. It has a really cool time track where you're moving around this rondelle type...
it's like Glenmore.
Like Glenmore, the time track.
I forget what it's called.
Time track. Somebody commented on it in our last video. That's what it's called.
But there's a mechanic. The mechanic itself, it says it on BGG what it's called, and I forgot what it was.
Oh, he said. I think it's called time track.
No, that wasn't it.
But so you're building. It's Tetris. That's really what to call this game.
It's true.
It is Tetris. We are trying to fit everything onto a board and get everything on the quilt and not lose points. I am either god awful at this game or good at this game. It's kind of crazy. Every time I played this game, it's been a blowout one way or the other. You either can get things rolling or not. But Patchwork's a lot of fun. Don't let this box throw you off or the theme throw you off. It's a great designer who we're not the biggest fan of. Actually, we don't like Agricola. We don't like. We thought Caverna was okay. I thought Ormabora was pretty bland. Patchwork's a lot of fun. It's a great little 2-player game that we've just gotten recently, so we've played it a lot actually so far. So good game.
My number 7 is Pillars of the Earth Builder's Duel. So this is the same name as Pillars of the Earth, but it's not related other than the like theme. Yeah, the theme and the artwork and stuff.
Mechanically, there's nothing in common.
Yeah, it's by Stefan Feld actually. Another shocker. It's a cool engine builder. It's tic-tac-toe. It is. And the artwork is phenomenal, but I think it's the same person that did Stone Age and
same artist.
Yeah, Michael Mendel, I think is his name. It's really fun. I mean, basically, you and your opponent are rushing to build, what is it, a cathedral and something else. I forget.
Castle?
Yeah, maybe. You're each building a building, and so you have to fight over the pieces in the middle of the board to get your resources, and the first one to build it wins. And it's a little more complex than tic-tac-toe, but I mean, that's basically what you do. You have to cross over the pieces in the middle. You have to have one that you share and fight over, and then the other 2 you can usually get depending on how those cards play out.
Yeah, this one is an incredible game that I'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah, pretty much.
So my number 6 is Mr. Jack Pocket. Another tiny little game. So we actually still have not played Mr. Jack. So
Nope.
we've only played this version of it, the tiny little 2-player. A lot of game in here for this little box. Really enjoy how this one works, where you're trying to figure out who Jack. One person plays Jack, one person plays Sherlock Holmes and Watson, and the dog.
The dog.
I think Spot's the name of the dog. I forget the name of the dog.
We had this question last
Yeah,
time.
but it's actually one of the 2 games on my list that have coin flipping as a mechanic. So
That's true.
really like this one. We played at lunch a lot. Tina's not the biggest fan of this one.
It's okay.
But I do like this one where you're trying to figure out who the other person is, and it's definitely deduction, trying to figure out when to take the actions and what actions to take, and narrowing everything down. I like Sherlock Holmes games. PI is not a Sherlock Holmes game, but I like deduction games.
Deduction, yeah.
Clue's one of our favorite games, pre-hobby games.
Our classic games, yes.
So I really like Mr. Jack. Fun.
My number 6, I swear you're right, I should have just said the series, is GIP.
The first.
The first in the GIP series. This one is Connect 4. You basically have to get 4 in a row, and you're trying to push the other person's, is it your piece?
You push everything in the row.
Yeah, you push everything off the board. It's been a while since we played this one. And it's very visual. You have to be able to visualize several moves in advance.
Change as you go. Yep.
Yeah, it's cool. It's unique. It's fun. It's GIP, so it's gonna be on my list. Abstract and a lot of fun.
So my number 5 is probably the one who I think this is probably the best game, but it's not my favorite, if that makes sense.
Right? It's true.
So the Duke, this is just a fabulously made game. It's a little abstract. It's chess. It's the only difference is if you were playing chess and whenever you did a move, the piece did something different the next move. So when you move something in this game, you flip it over and it does something else. Game is frustrating because you're like, all right, I have the perfect move. I'm going to move to this spot. That means I'm going to kill him next spot. Oh, I forgot I got to flip this guy over. He's going to do something else next turn. So he's not doing what I thought he was going to do. My biggest complaint about it is having to always flip back and forth the pieces, trying to figure out what they do the next turn, trying to remember what they do. But love this game. We've played it a bunch of times. We've gotten to some stalemates in this game where we just sit there forever and nothing really happens. We're just kind of moving in and out of trouble, But it's made so smartly. It's such a unique design, way to take the chess mechanically and alter it so different. Is such a cool idea. So it's not my favorite 2-player game, but I think it's the best 2-player game, if that makes sense. But I really like the Duke.
My number 5 is Battle Line. This is poker. And I know Kyle said this last time. It looks like a war game. It's really not a war game. You are just trying to get poker hands better than the opposing player and capture the 9 flags. You have to get all 9?
You have to get 5 of the 9.
5 of the 9, yeah.
Or 3 in a row.
Something.
Yep.
You have to meet the winning conditions.
Yes.
But we won't tell you what they are because we can't remember.
I did. Those were it.
So you have to capture 3 of the flags with the best hand of poker. The fun and complex part about it is that you both are splitting the decks, so you could be waiting for the third 5 of your 3, 5, or fourth 5, 4 of a kind or whatever.
3 of a kind. You'll pay 3 on a card.
Is it only 3? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so it's the third 5, whatever, and the other person's just hogging it, just holding on to it because they know you want it, and so then you place down whatever else and you screw that line up, and then he goes, ah, and I'm like, you suck. So that is the complexity of Battle Line.
Yeah.
But it's really a great game, and there are some extra cards in there even that change it a little bit more.
The tactics.
Yeah, I think I've only played with them once, so I'm not as familiar with them, but it's a really cool game. It doesn't play like the box makes it look, but it's super fun.
So in my number 4 we don't have. It's Twilight Struggle. So the reason why it's not higher is I've only played it once. So it is a great game. It is, I may even contradict myself that I said the Duke may be the best made two-player game, but this
I
one
haven't
might
played
be.
this one, so
Yeah, this one might be even better. Yeah, Tina's not played it yet. I've only played it once, and it was a teaching game. It wasn't very in depth. I think it's meant for
very
teaching.
fast.
It was
yeah.
very fast. Yeah, so I haven't played it since then. I've actually talked about somebody about borrowing it and learning it and playing it more. I haven't played 1989 either, which is the sequel to Twilight Struggle, but. I love card-driven games. I've played Here I Stand and Virgin Queen, and I absolutely love those to death. So I think I would love Twilight Struggle. I've only played it the one time, and it's rated #1 on BGG for a reason. So yeah.
My number 4 is we just saw this. It's the Duke. It is everything Kyle said, and it is crazy complex compared to just looking at it. Yeah, he's right. Having to flip the pieces back and forth is a little obnoxious, but there are some of them that are in the rule book, I think. Like, they give you descriptions, but not all of them. And then you can get all the extra pieces, too, so you can add to the theme. And there's totally different themes, too. So, it's really cool. It's really complex for such a little game. And yeah, it says 15 to 25 minutes, and we played one that went an hour plus, I think. And it's kind of one of those where you feel like you need all your pieces on so you can do all these things, but sometimes less is more in this game, where you just need a couple of them. And I struggle with that because I want to get all my pieces on there so I can have all those options, and then all those options screw me over because I can't move. Yeah. So it's a really good game. It is well put together. He's right. It's a great game.
So my number 3, Star Realms, and that's gonna be glaring really bad. But this is deck building done right. So this one's kind of a cheat as well because it does go up to 4 players, but we only have
we have 3 anyway, right? You have to buy extra decks.
Yeah, you have to buy extra decks. So we're going off the base game, which is a 2-player only game.
True.
So it's deck building with aggression, which is great. But in a 2-player game, aggression is I like that aggression because it's like I have to attack you. I can't attack anybody else.
It's not, to choose,
it's not like some games where you're like, well, I got to pick on this person or the weakest person. It's just back and forth. So the combat on that doesn't even seem. It just seems like part of the turn. Yeah, it's part of the turn. So this is building combos, and it's got a great mechanic to it. Simple, Dominion got so crazy, and then Thunderstone, and then Accession, and all these games came afterwards that really made it more
overly complex.
And this kind of just went back to the basics and to a deck builder, and I thought it was a great idea. Played it a couple times. We ended up getting it, and really great game.
Cool theme. Yeah, I was nervous about that one at first too.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 3, I swear it's the last GIP I'm showing you today, is Yench, which is my favorite of the GIP series. Yench is awesome. I win it. I think I've won it every time.
Yeah, I am as good as I am at Devon. I am just as bad at Yench, and I like Yench. It's a really good game.
Yeah, these are our polar opposite games for us. This one, you get your ring, and you're moving your ring around over pieces, and when you move them over, when you move the ring over the pieces, they flip to the opposite color on the opposite side. So it's more complex than it looks. I mean, it's just a bunch of rings and pieces on a board, but the complexity, and you have to be able to try and figure out what the other person is going to do. And I'm not really great at planning out moves like that. Kyle is usually better at that than I am, but for some reason this game just clicks for me.
Yeah, I miss moves in this game. Right?
You do, and I'm just sitting there going, "Oh, please don't see it, please don't see it," and you didn't see it, and I won.
So I don't know why I don't see him in this game, but I'll play this game, and I won't even see somebody coming close to getting their 4 in a row, and I'm like, what the heck just happened? So yeah, I suck at this game. I like it, but I suck at it.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's super fun. And the first to capture 3 rings, which once you get 5 of your colors in a row, you get a ring, and once you get 3 rings, then you win, which means me, because I always win. But this is a great game.
So my number 2 is Pillars of the Earth, Builder's Duel, Stefan Feld. This is tic-tac-toe and coin flipping.
Yeah, this is the other one with
coin flipping. That is a great game. So this is a game, if you went and told somebody what the mechanics of it were, they'd be like, that sounds stupid.
Yeah, like Augustus.
Yes, Augustus. This is so much fun. So tactical for a two-player game.
That's true.
Very tactical, where you're trying to figure out, all right, I need this really bad, but if I take this row, he's going to go the other direction, and he's going to get what he wants, so maybe I don't take something that's good, so he doesn't. So having that tic-tac-toe mechanic where you have to take a line in any direction, and then the other person has to be on one of those lines and go in a different direction, then you flipping coins over the middle one whatever one you both are on.
Yeah.
Great idea. It's a quick game. I mean, I'm not sure what it says on the box, but it seems like a 30-minute game. We definitely play this at lunch.
40
minutes.
Yeah.
We played it in 30 minutes at lunch. It's very cool that we're doing the same objectives, same cards. So it's a race game. You're racing to get these to finish this one. It's not a certain number of rounds. Oh, it is a certain round. It's 4 rounds.
Yeah, but you're racing to have the most completed building.
And I don't think we've fully completed yet. But
no, I think we did.
Did we? Maybe
I'm pretty
we did.
sure we did the first time we played.
But I mean, it's Stefan Feld. He's my favorite, so that jumps it up way. We had this a year before we even played it.
I know.
Yeah, but it's I love this one.
I bought it for him. He wouldn't play it.
Pillars of the Earth, great one.
All right, we're on 2, right?
We are on 2.
Okay. My number 2 is another crossover. Surprising. Patchwork. Yes, we just got this game. It is Tetris. It is awesome. It is quilting, but who cares what the theme is? Seriously, the game is awesome. It's got that mechanic where you have to pick your piece from 3, where the pawn is. You have to pick from those 3 nearest. And a lot of times we try and go farther. We're like, snap. But yes. And then it's like with Glenmore, you move, and if you move ahead enough on the score tracker, then you have to wait for the other person to catch up, and you want to accumulate buttons and there's these little chips on the score tracker, and I don't know, there's games where I get all of them. Like, I don't know how, it just happens that way, and then there was games where Kyle got all of them.
Yeah.
And it seems to go that way, like the person that gets them all. But they help you. They're just one square size, so they fill in holes and gaps, because one of the extra things you can do in here is fill in. You've got a 9x9 board, and if you fill in, I think it's 7x7 grid, totally full, then you get an extra, I think, 7 points. Yeah.
I mean, that's huge in this game.
It is it's very big. But yeah, some of these, like basically all the little quilting pieces, the Tetris pieces, some of them will give you time, and some of them will give you buttons, some will give you both, and they're all wonky sizes and shapes, and you gotta fill in your Tetris board basically. So don't let Patchwork, don't let that throw you. Think of Tetris. If you like Tetris, you will love this game. It's a great abstract.
So my number 1 it was my number 1 of my lunchtime games. It's my number 1 here as well. So trying not to do a lot of crossovers list, but this one we had just not a huge pool to pick from. So Battle Line, we talked about it. It's not a war game. It is a GMT game. It's not a war game. It's Dr. Kniza, so you know he's not a war game designer. It is poker. We talked about that. But this one is so tactical, where you're trying to you have knowledge because you got a handful of cards, and so you know what they don't have. My favorite part of this game is when you can prove that the other person can't win.
I hate that. You do that to me all the time.
That's a lot of fun when you're like, you know what, you can't win that hand because that card's right there. That's the only card that could beat my hand. So
he's so good at that.
Yeah.
He's so bad at
so
that.
I love that part of the game. The tactics add another layer on it, but they're not needed. The game's just fine without them, but it's really good with it. I really love Battle Line. I know there's a lot of re-themes out there, which I'd love to try. I know there's a Simpson one that are fan made. They're not official ones.
So like print and play kind
print
of
and play ones, but
that's cool.
But Battle Line is such a simple idea that's done so well.
It's true.
And the theme makes sense. You're fighting over lines, and you get formations, and the better formations win, like in a poker hand. So the theme makes sense. Doesn't matter. But don't let this one throw you off if you see this one and think, oh, this is a war game. I don't want to play a 2-player war game. It is definitely not a war game. It's a hand management set collection game. That's really what it is.
That's true. And I don't like war games, so.
Yeah.
And my number 1 is Star Realms.
Shiny box.
I think it's okay.
Yes.
Get your hands over the title. Star Realms. I love this game. We just got it. Like, we've had it for, what, like a month or 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were behind the curve on this one.
And I was really scared. I didn't want to play it because I watched Kyle and Steve play it, and it looked like, I mean, all they were doing was fighting each other, and then once I played it, I realized that it's literally just part of the turn.
Yeah.
It's
not an aggressive game.
It's conflict, but it's not mean. Yeah, exactly. It's just part of the turn. You are going to draw your cards, and they're ultimately going to have money on them and
Combat.
hit points. Yeah. So it's just part of it. You're like, oh, okay, well, I hit you for whatever, and I'm going to buy this next turn. And, yeah, I like the theme. I mean, it's really cool. You're buying outposts and ships, and you're building up your Air Force, or your
Space Force.
Space Force, yeah.
Your fleet.
There you go. That's a good word. Fleet. And the thing I hate the most about this game is the flippin' scoring.
Yeah.
I need to fix that because it is awful.
Yes.
Double-sided cards.
Double-sided cards, they're tough.
It's bad, and I'm bad at math, so that makes it worse.
Yeah. There's probably an easier way to do that, and I'm sure somebody's thought of it. We just got to look it up to see.
Yeah, because it's miserable. I lost the first game because I didn't have any idea what was going on with the scoring.
Yeah.
But that is my only complaint. Everything else I love about it. It's great.
So thanks for watching, and leave us a comment on what your favorite 2-player game is, and
Yeah.
what we should be playing, because, you know...
Yeah, we need lots of suggestions.
We played like 25 maybe, so this was half of the list.
Exactly.
Little half left that we played, so
Definitely.
yeah, I'd love to have suggestions on 2-player games. You kind of see what we like and what we don't like, and
what you want us to do next.
Yep. Yeah, any ideas for any other list, let us know. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.